Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and tech and answer your questions live. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. All right, guys, we have an interesting week. I do apologize for being out last week. I have this cough that has not gone away for like several weeks. And yeah, it is just we got worse last weekend, and this hair is getting worse right now as it goes. But yeah, so all this kind of stuff to say that I just was not up to it last week, so I just decided to call it a day. I didn't want to be coughing throughout it. I'm better now, but yeah, just the stubborn cough has not gone away. All right, let's get to the news because there is a bit of news this week. iMessage came to Android. I was going to do a video on it, and then it got taken away. So let's go to the tale. What is this story? So this app, which is really cool, called Beeper Mini, it's different from the other claimed iMessage tools of the past, where they would claim, "Hey, we're bringing iMessage to it," but really they just have a server, an Apple Farm server, all around. So it was just a really annoying thing, right? So that happened, and I was like, okay, I was really intrigued by it. Downloaded it. It's $2 a month, which for getting iMessage on Android, I think is fine. Like that's good price. Yeah, I'm totally cool with that. $24 a year, sure, why not? And was so liking it that I was excited for it. Not for myself per se, like although I had like a friend I immediately messaged, and we worked together in an office, and it was like, oh dang, like I immediately sent him a video, high quality, everything was iMessage perfect, really cool. Showed up as it was cool. I asked him to take a screenshot because it was green bubble to blue bubble, even though I had immediately, still continued to use my phone. I just used this app instead to text message. So really cool concept, right? Like I love the idea of it, and the way they did it was just reverse engineering how iMessage works, so that basically it was different than any other way that had been done before. They literally reverse engineered messaging through Apple's servers so that they did not have to act as a medium, which means that this was as secure as can be, all directly through iMessage, all directly through Apple. There was nothing wrong with it. Now, quicker than I thought it would happen, Apple stopped it. Apple shut it down. They shut it down, and they said that the reason why they wanted to shut it down was because of the fact that you know they um, they basically wanted to make sure that they are the leading industry leading in privacy and security, and this basically could potentially exploit things that are bad, such as scam, plush attacks, all these different things, right? Here's my thing. I agree with the company's owner of Beeper Mini, that is the app created, when it's really like what he said was, if Apple really cared about privacy and concerns, they would make sure text messages to Android were end to end encrypted. By the way, although Apple is adopting RCS, it has not been made clear, and has actually in some cases been made that they will not do this, that they will not be encrypting it end to end. They're using the open source version of RCS, which is not encrypted like the one mainly used by Google. So, that being said, this might not change. Now, Beeper Mini is saying that they are determined to get back online. And what they did, by the way, to get a lot of people, to try it out, was give a 7-day free trial before you had to pay the $2, which it's $2. Like, it's fine. But They extended that over a week to till they can say like, "Hey, we're working again," and they are prepared to extend it longer if need be to make sure that it's actively working again. But I really love this. Like it was a cool thing, and more importantly, to be honest, not for myself. Not for myself. I am not a person that needs iMessage features. I really don't care. Almost no one iMessage on a day to day basis uses iMessage. So I don't care. But what I will say is that for me, it was something that I was very happy to buy and purchase for my daughter, because all of those things are true when they say how horrible iPhone people are. The worst of it is, of course, in teenagers and that age range where they will bully you into, like, why don't you have a blue bubbles? All of that stuff is true. I've seen it firsthand, and it really is out there. And like Apple people will say it's not true, it's over dramatized, all that kind of stuff. It is. It really is out there. Whether you're not one of them, great. Then you're one of the good ones. But like there are people that at work, at all these different places, like complain every time, and all of that stuff is true. So it really is something that, like, I hope this comes back, and I hope Beeper Mini figures out a way to do it, because if they do, that will be great, because it will be something that I could, give to my daughter, and like that, like, oh, hey, now you get all the iOS feature or iMessage features, just so they don't, while still having all the benefits of Android that are over iOS. So that's just something that I was just really like, we'll hope it. I hope it works out. We'll see next week. All of this happened in the span of a week, by the way. I think this started on Tuesday, I want to say, or Monday, and it just took off. Like it was like wildfire. Everyone was either making a video on this or about to make a video on this. I was about to make a video on this. I had the thumbnail ready and everything. I was just going to do the talking head, and bam, and then didn't get to. So yeah, I want to see how it turns out before I do a video on it, and I can show you guys step by step on how the process works and how everything works for it, as long as it obviously continues to work. But let me know what you guys think. Would you pay $2 a month on Android to get Blue Bubbles and iMessage features on Android? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious on how anyone else would feel about this. For me, it was more about for my kids, but I'm really curious how anyone else would feel about that. All right. Now, we do have some leaks of Android, or should I say, One UI 6.1, or the latest version of Android on a Samsung phone coming out. So these are getting some features that we've seen on the recent version of Android, specifically on Pixel, obviously. But some things are going to be like, hey, you can actually change and use AI for a lot of things. So one thing is like AI for to create an image for you, and then you can have whatever image as your wallpaper. So like, hey, an image of lavender plants on a background with red space gray. You can kind of create this as you want. You can, hey, do you want it to be sunny, cloudy, snowy, whatever you wanted to, and have it be that on the wallpaper. Then there's different edits that you can change on the actual photos. So reimagining photos is essentially how they're done, how they're changed, and everything like that. A lot of the remastered ones that we've seen on Galaxy Experience, which is an AI photo editor you can get on the Galaxy Store, but now it'll come. Some of those features will become more of the default photo editor. Um, a lot of removing and adding stuff, just like Samsung has had. Notes is kind of interesting because it's going to auto format your notes and do summaries for you if need be, which is great. Also, you can continue editing where you left off. So a lot of times, you have to discard your editing changes, or you save the image as now. where it will then go is actually now it's going to be you can actually change the edit later, which is really cool. Because sometimes I'm like, I don't want to save it as is, but I don't want to undo all my edits. So now you can actually continue where you left off, which I think is really cool update. Also, an AI enhanced voice call. So it's going to be basically even more enhanced, focusing on voices, getting rid of the background, which I think every call should do that. I don't know why you wouldn't ever want that in a call. The whole point of a call is to hear someone's talking, so I think that that should always be just on by default. But you can have the standard mode, or you can have voice enhanced. Maybe the only reason why you would want not voice enhanced is if there are multiple people in the conversation. Maybe it would mute the people that are further away from the mic, and that's why you might not want it. But other than that, I would just say everyone should want that. And then there's going to be a new version of the battery protection as well, driven by AI. So right now there is basic, adaptive, and basic and maximum. There's going to be a new one called adaptive, and basically it's just going to be a little bit more catering towards. It will get to 100% after most of the night once it learns your rhythm. So once it learns your rhythm of when you wake up, okay, you wake up every morning at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever it is, right? So you wake up every morning at 7 a.m. So I will leave it at 80% until 6 a.m. And then during that last hour, I'll charge the remaining 20%. And that way, it'll basically be ready for you at 100% when you wake up. That is a cool feature. It's something that's been tried for at the 95%, which was when it started with the basic protection. But now it's going more and more into fine tuning it to 80% and then giving you the last bit for adaptive protection. So I do like that. These are all new AI features that are coming to the new Galaxy S24, and then it will retroactively go back to S23 Ultra and everything else. Once everything gets 6.1. So right now we're on 6.0. If you did get the latest version of the S23, that one did upgrade to 6.0, along with some other Android or some other Samsungs. But 6.1 is the one that's going to be starting on the Galaxy S24. All right. And then, although the Fold 6 may not have everything we're looking for, one thing that is going to happen is that it does look like we are going to be getting a different aspect ratio and a bigger cover screen. So that is something that finally, I think the Z Fold 5, that thin, longer design, is probably the worst feature it has now at this point. After using both the Pixel Fold and the One Plus Open, I think those are much better aspect ratios, and I hope that Samsung goes either with the One Plus Open or at least closer to it. I think the Pixel Fold is a little too wide, so I do think that the One Plus Open was kind of like perfect in terms of its aspect ratio for just being, good size on this side and then perfect size when you open it overall. So I think this one is the one that they should try to mimic. Oh, sorry if I hit the mic. But we'll see how it goes. All right. And then I did want to talk about the recently released Gemini. So what is this? This is Google's Chat GPT. Not to be confused with Bard, which is going to use Gemini. Gemini is essentially going to be the brain in all these different apps. Bard is the AI assistant, kind of like how Google Assistant was. Bard is basically the equivalent of ChatGPT, where you can send it a message and it will spit something back out at you using Gemini AI as the backbone. So this is going to go into a lot of things, and it's going to be Google's main way of learning things. Now, Google did a demo, but some of them were not true, which kind of sucks. Some of them were like, a videotaping of someone drawing a duck, and the AI assistant of Bard would essentially, or Gemini rather, would know what it was and like, oh, that looks like a duck. Oh, it looks like you're drawing it blue. These responses that were really, really cool. It turns out that it wasn't actually all done in real time. There was some things and there was text below. They're like, oh, well, not all of these. This is a demo of what it will be or could be, not what it actually is. So some of them were not exactly how they showed it, which, kind of sucks when you're talking about an AI that gets everyone excited. But we'll have to wait and see. Overall, I do think that this is a step in the right direction. It says it's a lot more powerful than ChatGPT right now, so we'll have to wait to see how it's going to actually be. Overall, I am excited for this. I'm excited to see what's going to happen. And there's also 3 different versions of Gemini. There's Gemini Nano, Pro, and Ultra. Gemini Ultra is going to be later on next year. Pro is what's going to be powering Bard moving forward, and on Pixel Phone Pro, 8 Pro, only the 8 Pro, not the 8. There's going to be Gemini Nano. This is also what is powering some of the text message replies and things like that that Google is messing with in RCS Google Messages. So we'll have to wait and see everything that goes down with it and see as it comes out more and more apparent. But I'm still waiting for a Bard app, just like ChatGPT ended up getting. Right now, you can, save the Bard website onto your home screen, just like I recommended with ChatGPT before it got its official app. But that is what I want to see. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But very curious to see how this AI really does and how is the real time going to be when it's all ready to go. So yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. This is going to be a really interesting year. I think AI is going to be the word at CES. CES is the tech conference that happens every January where all new products are announced and all things that are going to be using it. AI is going to be the name. AI is going to be the word. Just like how it was like 5 years ago when 5G first came out, everything was 5G. Everything was 5G. And then 4 years ago, Wi-Fi 6. Everything was Wi-Fi 6. Wi-Fi 6E didn't have as big of a splash, but just how those were the buzzwords back then, AI is going to be the buzzword this year. I already know it. But let's wait and see. All right. Now let's get to your questions. If you have a question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. RSV, cough, runny nose, and headaches. Got it. I did not have anything but a cough. That was like it. The cough is just constant. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of things going around. There's RSV, the flu, COVID, and the other thing that's now being said that it might be is whooping cough. I don't know which one I have. I probably should go to the doctor and kind of get checked out. I know I don't have COVID. I've tested several times, always negative. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I probably could go. I will say that like when I take Dayquil, it helps. So I don't know. It could be one just a flu or one of the other things. RSV though, I've heard that is more susceptible to kids. So like my son, who's coughed a lot, I worried about him having it, and then elderly. But yeah, I don't know. It's all this kind of stuff out there, and I'm not a doctor myself, so I don't know. But just kind of seeing what's out there, and it's been a very bad cold or flu season on top of everything else. So yeah, it happens. Um, I'll stay. Don't worry for me. Um, hope you're all staying warm and safe. Is it cold everywhere else? It's cold in my area. 39 degrees Fahrenheit here. Wow. Yeah, no, I can't do that. What is it outside for me? Let's see. Outside for me right now. I mean, it's not. I mean, it is different, but I'm okay. Yeah, no, I'm 58 degrees. Cold outside. That's cold for LA though. That's cold for LA. But yeah. Any info on the Galaxy Buds Pro 3? No, I haven't even heard about them coming out with the S24. So I'd be curious if they're going to come out with the S24 or if they'll fall back on the folds. But hmm, it's been a while, so maybe. But if I had to guess, I maybe say the folds because the folds are coming out early this year too. It's going to be coming out in July instead of August, as we found out from. Oh man, I forgot his name. Real quick, our leaker that always stops by. I can't think of the name. Real quick, but yeah. Um, Quiet Storm, you remember, the guy who always comes by and lets us know all of the secrets and fun stuff. But yeah, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Um, AI Tech, new video on it. Um, which AI Tech do you mean? Do you mean Gemini or something else? Let me know. Um, what to expect from hardware? A Samsung Unpacked. Mullet Baby 01. There you go. Thank you, Quiet Storm. Mullet Baby is our resident leaker that always stops by every once in a while to give us some news. So we do know that the Fold is going to come a month early this time around. And Samsung's Unpacked event could actually be a week after CES, which would be the earliest it's ever been. So very curious to see how that turns out. Um, but what can we expect to hardware at Unpacked? I think the main things are going to be that we are going to definitely get the S24 series, right? So S24, S24 Plus, and S24 Ultra. Those are definites that are going to happen. I don't think we're going to get any tablets. If we do get tablets, those will be at MWC a few weeks later for the A series. And the as far as sorry, as that was the A series tablets. As far as the A series phones, it is possibility they're announced at either CES or at MWC. So that's when I would recommend the A series phones are probably going to be announced, but we'll have to wait and see. CES is in January, MWC is in February. So one of those two events will probably announce new phones. If I had to guess, I would say MWC just because I think they wouldn't want to take any shine away from the S series launch. Um, yes, we're all safe with the wife. That's good. Ricky, I watched a movie clip on YouTube and saw the description option to buy or rent the movie. If you buy, do I actually own it to put onto my other devices? Yeah, YouTube is kind of just letting people know more now. But you've always been able to buy movies on YouTube. And what that actually buys you the movie with is Google TV. So you can download the Google TV app on any platform, pretty much, whether it be Google or yeah, the only one that it can't do is Roku, but you can get it on like Apple TV. You can get it on Samsung TVs, LG TVs. You can get it on obviously Google TV itself. But basically, those are where all your purchases go. On Roku, you can get it, but instead of there being an official Google TV app, you can just go to the YouTube app and go to what is it? My because they did just change how the YouTube app looks. So you can go to your movies and TV, which is a new section, and then you will see all the movies and TV that you have purchased yourself. So that is on any any place where you can have the YouTube app. This is available for you, so you can see everything you purchased. Obviously, the last most of the last three are more kids movies for me. But yeah, that's what you can how you can get all of your purchases. Now, the other thing you should know about is a program a service called Movies Anywhere. What this does is it allows you to link up all of your services from Google TV purchases to Amazon Prime purchases to Apple TV purchases to Vudu purchases. So it links up all of them. So if you purchase a movie on one of those, it will sync them all up. Now, most studios, I would say, use this, including Disney, Fox Library, what is it, Universal, and WB. So all of those companies do use it. The only ones that don't is Sony movies and Paramount movies. Those are the two that I believe still do not use or attach or sell their movies so that it syncs across. Hence the big scandal that recently happened with Sony's Discovery TV shows. So again, this is Movies Anywhere. It does not sync up your TV shows. So your TV shows, you should still buy it with the service you want best. I always do tell people if there was two companies that I would personally buy my digital library from, it would be YouTube, or sorry, Google or Apple. Amazon being a third person that could be fine, but just to kind of make sure that you're going to still have it and that company won't go out of business later is the thing that I would look at. All right. And yeah. I know you are talking about iMessage, but do you know why Samsung removed video call on the new models? My friend has an S20 and she still have the option, but the newer versions don't. Um, it basically went to carriers. Carriers decided if they wanted to have the video option on the dialer or not. And some carriers didn't want it to be linked with Google, which was Google Duo, which then turned into Google Meet. So that integration was done with Google Duo. Then Google Meet took over, and it became a different source. So that was the complication there. Um, but yeah, ultimately carriers can bring it back, or carriers cannot have it. But that's it. Um, so yeah, let's see. Can can you talk about that in the future? I just talked about it now. I'm glad to hear the Galaxy Fold 6 is getting a bigger size. Yes, it does look like it will. What is your take on buying digital movies from companies, taking them down when they're no longer owning them? Um, I mean, my take is this: no one should be mad at Sony in this. Like, no one should be mad at Sony. Who everyone should be mad at is the person who I haven't seen that many people mad at: Discovery. Discovery should you buy from Sony, but they pay it to Discovery. Yes, they get a percentage of it, but the majority of the money is going to Discovery. So Discovery should be the one to give you that money back, or just really easily give it as a free credit on another platform. Okay, you have 90 days to use this, redeem code on Apple TV, on Google TV, on Vudu, whatever service you buy your TV shows from, and you get it for free on there. How many people actually bought Discovery TV shows on a PlayStation? Like, I don't think it's going to be that out of control where you're going to be losing millions. You might, yeah, lose a couple thousand, and not really even you're losing it. It's just you're basically giving it you're giving your service for free. So yeah, I for me it really is it's Discovery's fault on this front. Sony didn't want to renew because I'm guessing Discovery was like, well, if you want to if you want to keep our licensing, you have to pay this much now. And Sony was like, no, we're not really seeing that many sales, so we're not going to do it. But there should be no reason for them to be able to take it off of your own device and not your own purchase. So yeah, that's my thing is it shouldn't be allowed to do it in the first place, to remove your own data, because then you have to go back to what is the term buy, right? Like, if you are buying something, you own it. You're not licensing it, or else that should be the term at point of purchase, that you are licensing it as long as this service is available. That is not the verbiage used. And they can, throw legal stuff out there, of course. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what kind of terms they could throw at me, but that would be my kind of defense is like, okay, so say you're licensing the movie. You're not buying it, but buying is sexier. Buying is going to make people click more. Licensing, people are going to be like, why would I buy it then? Why would I license it? Like, you can take it away. I don't like that. And the digital sales would go down tremendously. So that would be my argument, is that they shouldn't be allowed to do that as long as it says the term buy. But if they do, okay, give an exit strategy of within 90 days, you get this content on another platform. Simple as that. I think that's more than reasonable, and it's, again, the Discovery is the one who made the majority of the money, not Sony. So Discovery is the one who should be doing it. But yeah, not me. I don't like bubbles that much. Only bubbles I pay for. All right, not gonna say that rest of that line, but yeah. Um, Physical copy is always a good idea for many reasons. Um, Only movies I really like to own. Yes, movies I really like. I like to own a physical copy. I've gotten rid of most of my physical copies. I do have like one of those old booklets of all my Blu-rays. But here's the thing: I have one Blu-ray player left, and it's not even in my own room. It's not even in a room that I use. You know, it's in one of my kids' rooms. The PS4 Pro. That is the last Blu-ray player I have. The PS5, I went with the digital version because I didn't see a need to pay extra for the non one, and I liked that it was thinner. So yeah, for me, I've kind of went away with it. And by the way, it could be what is it? A Mandela effect. But I swear this happened with one movie in particular, owned by Miramax and the Weinstein Company that had all those scandals. But I swear I owned the digital version of Dogma at one point, and I don't have it. I don't have a digital version of Dogma anymore. Um, I have versions that you can find on the internet, but I do not have the digital version that I swear I purchased a while ago. And it could be, like I said, a Mandela effect where I didn't actually ever own one. But that is one thing that I was just like, man, it's something that I'm just like, what the heck? I'm excited to buy the Pixel Fold 2. I think that's going to be a really good one, to be honest. Gemini is from the Terminator 4. Which one was that? Rise of the Machines was 3. Was 4 the last one with I swear they've rebooted that thing so many times I forget. There was one with the evil John Connor, and then after that I think there was there was like another one after that where they redid they killed John Connor and then there became another one. I don't know. It was just like all these different things. So yeah. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Everybody drink. Let's see. Still on the fence when it comes to AI. I think it has its purposes. I think it's I have attributed AI much like a calculator and the internet. That's what I always attribute it as. It is a tool that can be used for a lot of good things and to help us out and to get things done quicker than we ever could before. But it also has a lot of negative and possibly catastrophic things if used in the wrong way, right? An internet connection could literally allow a hacker to shut down an entire company. That is something that, you know, the internet, we couldn't do before that to that level, but we can do it now. So that is how I see AI. Um, in terms of AI as a tool, I really like it as a starting point, but it's definitely not the finished product that it can be. Um, can you hold back the fold phone back to back to see the size? Yeah. So let's see. Well, this is outside of the case, so let me take this one outside of the case. Um, so these are see the fold 4 is just a little bit taller than it, but in terms of width, it's just so much more narrow where it really like matters. This is so much of a better aspect ratio in this one. And then opened up, they're fairly similar, but it is going to be an overall bigger display on that front because again it's just wider, so you can see it's wider on there, and then on this one it's a little bit taller still. So yeah, hopefully that helps out. All right. um I love the Pixel Fold, best phone I have ever owned. I did like it, I really did, but it at least for me, I just had so many lag issues that maybe they completely fixed now and maybe it's perfect. For me, when I had it, it just had some lag issues that I couldn't stand. Um, and I have owned all of them. Great. Um, Ricky, does Google make money from Bard, or how will they monetize it? Um, I mean, they're probably collecting data. That's what Google does, right? Google collects data so that they can pinpoint to advertisers. That's the entire premise of Google. So everything they do, they try to make see how they can monetize. Now, fun fact: Google Assistant is one of the least profitable things they've ever made because they weren't really able to monetize it. So I'm not saying that Bard will be able to, but at that point, it was more of we're getting our A word handed to us because ChatGPT is seemingly doing more than a Google search can. That was bad for business. See, the reason why everyone uses Google is because it is the best search engine in the world, followed by YouTube and then Amazon and then TikTok. And these are the search engines that everyone uses on a daily basis. So Google was getting like, oh, well, maybe ChatGPT is a better way to search on the internet on how to get your answers. Something that Google had not been challenged with for a very long time. So that is why Google needed to do this. It was going in on their home turf, and essentially, the world uses Google for search and to get answers more than anything else in the world. But ChatGPT was a threat to that. Now, because Google is the top search engine in the world, they are getting money through advertisement from it. They can say, "Do you know how many billions of people uh, use our search engine every single day?" Advertisers like, "Yeah, a lot of them do." Okay, I will pay you money to be on that platform. That is how they monetized it. Bard does do that in a sense right now as a beta. So if I, you know, who is YouTube? So, for instance, I just typed in who is the YouTube tech guy. I have the beta of Bard essentially for my search. So I can see, you know, what the top search is for it. I am the top one, but then there are other ones as well. So you can see like other things around it, but at least I am the top one on here. And then it gives you that summary. So that is essentially what it's kind of doing is the AI is replacing things like Wikipedia and other sources, even though technically it's probably scraped all of these. And what that means is got information from all of these, but no longer would have to source because it's using their own AI algorithm. So yeah. Um, but that's how they would monetize. Basically, if it's the platform you use, they can have advertisements around there. Um, I have been taking what is NAC? Family had COVID and I didn't get it. Yeah. I have yet to ever test positive. I'm not sure if I've never gotten it, but I have yet to ever test positive. So yeah, indeed, vitamin C, that is definitely key. 47 degrees in dirty South GA. Do you think they will upgrade the specs of the Z Fold 6? I hope so, but unfortunately, signs are pointing to not having a better camera, or at least in the way we want it. Not like a 108 megapixel or 200 megapixel camera. The rest of Samsung has, and um, and not an S Pen built in. So we'll have to wait and see. But at least as of right now, that's what we're getting. Do you think that they might come out with a foldable FE? It's a possibility. Obviously, Moto did this year, and they had like a regular Razor and then a Razor Plus. Um, I think it's a possibility. I mean, I think that we could definitely see a foldable phone from Samsung, like a Flip FE, go down to possibly an $800 price point intro, and then when it's on sale, $600. Definitely a possibility. Right now, the Flip 5, for instance, went down. It was $1,000, and then it went down to $800 during Black Friday season. So it definitely can happen, and I think it would be great. Whoa, a bunch of questions just flooded. Everybody drink. Do you still use Bixby? I do not. I have not used Bixby in a very long time. I've heard it's improved. I just haven't used it myself. You know when I would use Bixby? Next year when it has a whole bunch of AI features. That is very going to be very interesting because Bixby might use ChatGPT. And if it does, that'll be big. That's why, by the way, Google's announcing this now. They're literally probably in talks with Samsung, and Samsung is debating if they're going to use Google Bard built in to make it an AI phone, or ChatGPT to make it an AI phone. Which one will kind of shape a lot of things to come this year. Um, and that's how Bixby. You just asked, will Bixby ever be good? That is how Bixby can be good. Can you imagine essentially having a ChatGPT 4.0 version, right? Not the free version 3.5, but a 4.0 paid for version linked through Bixby, and Samsung would essentially be fitting the bill for it, or not fitting the bill because they would be getting paid for it. So that would make Bixby amazing, actually, and it would be very interesting. Will you make a video on how to use One UI 6? I might. I have some videos lined up for the rest of the year. Basically, I took a week off. I was like, I'm not even going to. Like, I walked into my studio, but not my filming area of the studio. I took a week off. I was like, I need it. So I took it off, and then I got sick the second week. So it's been 2 weeks. Definitely getting back in the studio now and making a lot of the videos that I've been backed up on. So those will come soon. I am hoping I'm taking Thursday off, so I'm hoping to get at least probably 4 videos recorded that day is my goal. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah. Um, isn't Bixby connected to routines? Yes. So I do still use the routines part. Yes, I do. Ricky, what is your take on torrenting, and can you torrent in a legal way? Do you think torrenting will go away in a few years? The funny thing is, I didn't know people still torrented. That's what I would. That's my first thing. I know there was something that came after torrenting. I forgot what it was, but there was something that came after torrenting that was like torrenting, right? Because like Napster started it. Then after Napster came Livewire and iMesh, and then was like FrostWire for a little bit. Then came Pirate Bay, uTorrent, all of these torrenting things. And then they kind of like went away a little bit. There was different torrenting things that came out. There was something that came out after torrents, and I forgot about it. But is there any way to make torrent legal? No. It's any peer-to-peer service is technically not legal for sharing information that is a paid-for service. So yeah, no real way to make it legal. Yeah, it would be more legal if you bought, say, a movie and then without permission essentially ripped it and have a digital version of it in your computer that was originally from a Blu-ray. That is, while not condoned, more on the legal side. Sorry, getting the cough again. If it keeps at it, I'll have to stop. But that is more on the legal side than any regular torrent will be. Um, he's probably going to be able to answer since YouTube gave him a strike for a similar situation. Oh yeah. In terms of, yeah, like I would never show you how to download something because YouTube gave me a strike that I think I'm finally getting wiped out from my record because now they have like a um YouTube created this thing where like to they now allow you to remove a strike, even if it was like even if the strike turned into a warning eventually. You were never able to get rid of the warning before. Now you're finally able to get rid of the warning by taking like a training course. So I took that training course and I believe it should be off. Actually, that's a good question. Is it off of my um let's see, let me look at my dashboard. Nope, I still have the warning. The warning is going to expire on the 31st of January. So at the end of the 31st of January, I will no longer have a strike. That strike that I got was in November of 2019. I got a strike for it. And it is still on my record, essentially, because I showed people, I think it was how to download, I think, TubeMate or something like that. It was some app, and yeah, that was a whole thing. But yeah, all right. I'm going from a Gear S3 to a Galaxy S3. Will I be amazed? I think you'll like the interface more, but that's about it. I think the interface is overall better, but not like truly groundbreaking, like oh my god kind of thing. And the apps I would say are better, and the watch faces are better. That's what I would say are going to be the biggest differences coming from a Gear S3 to a Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. You won't be amazed. Ricky, do you think all tech companies have their own AI model, or do you think it's expensive to create an AI model? It's extremely expensive to create an AI model. It's extremely expensive. Um, what will happen is what always happens. There will be 10 players. Then there will be 5 players. Then there will end up with anywhere between 1 to 3 players, maybe a fourth player in the distance. But that's what's going to end up happening. Everyone is going to have their own AI kind of thing like that, and then eventually it will, default to the one that most people use. I mean, hell, Apple Maps is still around, but most people in life use Google Maps unless they're using like Apple CarPlays. What I've heard is most people still use Apple Maps for that reason, but any other time, most people will use Google Maps because it's far superior. Let's see. Um, Ricky, what do you think about Google Messages on beta? It has more goodies to work with. Yeah, like so. I had a worker of mine that was sick, and I saw the smart replies come up because I again am testing all the betas out for Google Messages and everything Google AI related, and it was kind of crazy. Like it was like I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully you feel better. I'm it sucks that you got sick on a Monday. I really hope you feel better, later this week. And like, just like context that it got from that, I'm like, that is kind of like wow. Like it's just yeah. You hear some things sometimes and it's just like, ooh, we'll have to wait and see. Um but yeah, so Google Messages, I am testing out the beta. I'm seeing all the new stuff, but sometimes it's kind of like, no, I want to be genuine. Like I feel like if I would use these pre-done messages, they might not be genuine. So yeah. Hey, Mullah Baby, stop by. Mullah Baby, I was just talking about our resident person that allows us to catch up on the latest leaks coming out. Samsung is spending most of most it has events in the next few weeks. CES for TV appliances and audio with an updated SmartThings integration. Great. And then AI full of AI S24 goodness. So yeah, is it really going to be the week after CES? Do you know, Mullet Baby? I'm very curious on that. Um, a fold or flip FE, you say? Sounds like something that's already in the works. I would imagine so. I think it's getting to be that time. Bixby was to be used for AI automation division, but it was canceled early 2022. Oh, so very curious how that'll turn out. I know Bixby was supposed to be its own AI originally, but I don't know how it's going to be now with its own version kind of thing. I hope the S23 Ultra buyers of this holiday do not get mad when the S24 Ultra Titanium steals the show. Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see that. Although I hope it does a bend test better than the iPhone did. And that was because of a layer that they didn't have on the back screen. So it actually had nothing to do with titanium. But hopefully they still reinforce it, unlike Apple did with theirs. Because yeah, that was something. Um, let's see. What is the best smart ring to buy for Samsung phone? Well, Samsung is going to have their own ring. I think Mullet Baby was actually the one that told us it would be coming out with the Fold, so that'll be coming out in July. I love mine, which I was trying to remember the brand. Ringcon. I absolutely love this one. Have had it since it came out, and it's been great. Like, no complaints. Get about 5 to 7 day battery life. I would say 5 is probably the average, though. It's like up to 7 days, as low as 3 days. I typically get 5 days, and basically I charge it, and for the most part, I can charge it pretty easily once a week, maybe a little bit beforehand, but basically every Sunday I tend to charge it, and that's when I need it. If I get better about it, I can charge it, Monday and then Friday. But most of the time, I just charge it every Sunday when I'm live with you guys, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could just put it in, and then the case holds a charge to the point where basically, if I remember correctly, this plus the case would make it so you wouldn't have to charge the case for 3 months. So it's really like a long time for every charge. So yeah, really good. And I love it. Ringcon. I did a video on it. You can go ahead and check it out. But that's the one I would probably recommend, and it works with any device. But you can only sync it to one phone at a time. I'm not sure if the Aura or others that are more expensive sync to multiple devices at the same time, but this one can only sync to one device. So if I paired it to this phone and then I paired it to this phone, it would now only be paired to this phone. So it basically removes itself from here and it only pairs to this one then. So that is a potential downside. Yeah. Um, do you have a hidden features video for the S22 Ultra? I don't remember if I did. I feel like I did. I feel like the S22 Ultra was the last hidden features video. And then it kind of became a tips and tricks video. Or no, wait. I think actually no, wait. I usually have, yeah, a tips and tricks video every time. Hidden features got to be kind of a lot, so I didn't do them as much anymore. Just because it would take me a solid week to week and a half to get that video up, from recording to editing to everything. And it's not that it wasn't worth it. It was just, it was a lot of time. And if I didn't do it within the first 2 weeks, it was basically like dead on arrival, right? So I need to do it more. And I'm hoping to bring it back with the S24 Ultra. There can only be one tech guy, Highlander Lightning. They're remaking it with the Queen soundtrack, Highlander the movie, so that'll be kind of interesting. So yeah. Let's see. I see the Fold FE with AI Rigsby 10.0. There you go. What's your favorite watch face for the Galaxy Watch? I forget which one this one is called. I'm trying to see if it has the name for me here. Nope. Let me just find it for you guys, and I will be heading out because I know it's about to be that family time in about probably 5 to 10 minutes. What was I looking for you guys? Oh, the Galaxy Watch that I use, or sorry, the watch face. So I don't know who the maker of it is, but the name is 3D. Oops. What? Cover it with my face. 3D, 3D, or sorry, MD 307. So I will put that in the chat. MD 307. So search that, and then you should be able to find it. But I absolutely love it. It's just a really clean one, and it has everything I could need and very customizable. So I like it, that one the most. All right, guys. I think we will be calling that a show. Again, hope to bring out some videos very shortly. I did just get the new on Pixel. I did just get the new update, which has Video Boost, which was something that is basically AI video editing for your Pixel. And it takes a day, but after you record it, you get an AI video version of what you had. So can't wait to really test it out and use it more. But yeah, very curious to see how it'll turn out. I've tested it out in a few videos, and I'm curious to see how it'll keep doing better. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next week. I'm coming back on Sunday. I'm going to Vegas yet again. I'm coming back on Sunday, so I will still have a show. All right, guys. Thank you as always so much for watching. This has been RACKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.
Thank you so much again for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Also, follow us on social media at YouTube Tech Guy, and check out some more great